comment, and my colleagues have heard this several times from me as we've gone through this process. I would agree that we've done an excellent job. And to your point, John, I would agree with you, but I'm a little worried about the future as we look at these continuing escalations of our cost of doing business effectively is what it is. And I guess I'm the one who's long in the tooth up here on the dais, although Mayor, your teeth are a little longer than mine, I suppose. I'm concerned about what I perceive to be a trend as the next project, and the next project, which is all fine and good. That's why we have a capital improvement plan. But I'm also concerned, and I hope my words resonate with my colleagues up here, we do have some potential unfunded liabilities coming at us, specifically in the name of some of our pension obligations to our public safety employees, and then more globally within the city, what's going to happen with Tier 1 and Tier 2 with the teachers and those unions, which, make no mistake, those are incredibly powerful unions. And so my hope is that as we move forward, and I obviously support our budget, and I think we've done our due diligence, and Elizabeth, Director Holub, to your point, exclusive of those capital projects, we're really being very good about mining the public dollar. But I would implore upon my colleagues as I term off that you're mindful of this and you don't run into a situation in the future where we're going to have unfunded pension liabilities, and those will be mandated by law to be funded. And so I would offer up some words of restraint and some cautionary words as we move forward, because what I do know is as these costs of just living in the state of Illinois continue to escalate, it's going to fall squarely not on the state legislators but on you. And those complaints will come to you because what they see as a property tax bill for the city of Lake Forest and District 115 at 67. So I would hope that you take a little bit of time and investigate what's happening down in Springfield with the Tier 2 employees throughout the state, and what will be somewhat of a day of reckoning where it will come back to us. We will be the ones left holding the bag. And so please be mindful of what we do moving forward. I feel very comfortable with where we are with the police station, with where we are with the athletic fields and those ongoing capital expenses, but please be mindful that there are some unknown liabilities lurking out there that can swim up and bite us if we're not careful. So that's my only comments. Thank you.
Good. Are there others? Alderman.
The Lake Forest podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, and J.M. Skoo Walker.
Is this being recorded?
Yes. Should I stop it? Everything's recorded.
What's going on?
I don't know. Show me that face.
Oh, fuck. I got it on.
Go IU. Here.
Start my video. I clicked on it. There we go.
There you go. What's up, brother?
Nada. Go IU is right. What a shit show that whole college football thing is.
Are you saying there's parity in the league?
I don't know. I wouldn't say there's parity. There's parity because everyone's joining up with two leagues and then bitching about it.
Dude, I'm trying to give you credit. IU, man, having a good year. They just couldn't beat Ohio State.
I know. Hey, listen.
And they're still in it, right?
I'm all for it. I was just happy when they got to 6 wins. Puts them in a bowl.
How many wins? How many wins do they need for you to go to homecoming?
Oh, what do you mean?
Like
I've gone to the homecoming games and left with 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Can you tell me what this is?
Huh?
What is this? Those little dolls they do in there. They got the little puppets that, fight.
Oh, yeah.
Did you come up with that?
No, I didn't. I wish I did. Wouldn't be sitting here right now.
They would have bigger fists.
No, they we'll see. You still got to play the games, right?
Yeah.
You know them that. One twist of an ankle, one tackler twist in the leg of someone.
But that coach is pretty good. He's pretty cocky. I like that.
Google him.
I did. He's good. He's won wherever he went.
No, I know. Yeah. I honestly never heard of him, but hey, it's great. I mean, it's what Indiana needs.
No, that and your business school. I mean, that's a great place.
No, I know. No question about it.
So Joe will be showing up here in a little bit. You want to go over anything before we don't get a word in edgewise?
No, I'm good. I'm just hanging tight. It's kind of windy out. Don't like that. I'm not ready.
Wind advisory. Keep your.
How'd your fry roast go?
Oh, that I got the turkey thing down. The problem that I got is, there's a plus and a minus side to downsizing. When you throw the same size parties as you did when you had a bigger house, it doesn't work so well.
So what extravagant? Do you get Twinkies in there? And
it's FryFest is just America. You try something, and if it works, you keep it, and if it doesn't, you get rid of it. So everybody empties their freezers, just like the countries of the world empty out their populations to come in through this.
I love how you parallel everything. It's certain. No, I was looking out my back on the deck. I was looking for the flames coming up, especially every time I heard a siren going by there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I definitely smell like peanut oil. And it's not the cleanest peanut oil either.
Did you invite your neighbors? Front
Uh,
and back?
they they were reaching over the fence like that dude from Home Improvement. I forgot his name.
Oh, with
Yeah.
you hear from our buddy, your neighbor anymore?
I don't, man, and I got nothing to say. It's people think I go out of my way to poke. I don't. I just I poke at people that what I got shitty self service, and I would like to have better self service. That's all I want. I don't care what it looks like. I just want my phone to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The funniest thing is that should never have gone to any boards or commissions.
What? Like, why did it?
Ever. Because there was some certain spineless,
Are you talking about the planning commission who just?
no, I'm talking about that should never have gone to the planning commission. It should have been probably like an omnibus thing for the council, if that. I mean, think about it. How many, I would say, and this is just me saying it,
Yeah.
probably 10%, if not less, of city issues go to boards and commissions. The rest is determined by staff. And guess what? That cell phone company came to the city and said, hey, listen, you guys need a tower because your service is short.
Here.
And the city said, we can put it here on our property. And the cell tower said, this is how we'll do it. Done. It doesn't cost anyone any money in the city. It doesn't cost the taxpayers anything.
Well, it's not a money thing. It's a looks thing.
Right. And you know what? It's like the Costco. They said, okay, we're out. Thank you very much.
Well, the cell phone company sent their best person. Joe Weiss, we're talking about the cell tower.
Hi, Skoo.
Hi, Joe. Greetings and salutations.
Mazel tov. When do we light the menorah, Joe?
I don't know. We got to look that up.
What are you talking
We'll
about?
find out from our friend. We'll find out from our friend.
I thought you had a card in your wallet. Don't you have all the important dates?
Our friend Moshe has that.
Did you order? You got an Instagram or Instacart order for Manischewitz?
Need to put the nativity scene back up in Market Square then.
Wait, you
Put them all in. I'm all for it.
Wait a minute. You can't have nativity? Are you kidding me?
That is why it was removed years ago.
Trump will fix that.
Oh, Rob Sherman's dead now, so they can put it back in. He was the big atheist guy.
They wanted nothing relating to religion in the square.
We have the menorah.
Nah, that was first time last year. Probably shouldn't have been.
Really?
Just saying.
Put the nativity scene. Put a menorah. Put a blank box for the atheists.
I agree. Do it all, but you can't do one and not the other.
Are you anti-Semite, Skoo?
Absolutely not.
All right. So if we can take care of Moishi, we can't put little baby Jesus out there?
I don't know. I just was here way long time ago when there was a big issue about that and it was removed.
It was there was a guy named Rob Sherman who went around to all the towns and said, no nativity scene, all that. He was the head of the atheist.
No, it wasn't. It was a resident.
Oh, it was a resident? Well, screw that.
It wasn't a resident.
Put
it back.
I think it was back in the late 80s, if I'm correct.
All right. Well, it's a new era.
I don't want to,
Who's hating on Jesus?
I don't know.
There's a bunch of Jesuses coming through the border still.
And I'm sure Moshe would have no problem with a nativity scene right next to it.
I agree.
Jesus was a Jew.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Talking to the wrong guy.
Why don't you go ask your friend Reverend Luke?
How did we get to this conversation versus?
Yeah, I don't know. We have very bad weeds.
Oh, the weave. It's called a weave.
The Trump does the
I'm out.
weaves. That's why the podcast with those podcasts with Joe Rogan are 3 hours long.
So, Skoo, you
guys are pushing that.
Skoo, you're a founding podcaster here in Lake Forest. You always have an open invite. When you got to scratch that itch. Did you have a little itch yesterday where you say, "Hey, what's going on tomorrow?" And here you are. What's on your mind?
Curious. Looking forward to, Saturday morning.
Oh, okay. You want to be part of the solution, not the problem.
Absolutely.
All right, let's start with the tree light.
I'm just a fly on the wall here. You guys go.
All right, fine.
I'll chime in.
All right, let's.
I'll correct you all.
Tree lighting. Totally missed it. I got bombarded. Like I was telling you earlier, Skoo, there's positives and negatives of downsizing, okay? You want to keep things simple, but when you have family that is used to coming and being in a larger house than in a smaller house, it doesn't work. I was working the grill. I smelled like I lived in Gehazi in the melting pot for 48 hours, and all I could hear is a faint 2-1. And you know what? I knew it wasn't Randy doing it. It sounded like somebody else because it was going a lot slower. Joe, I'm living vicariously through you. Sorry I couldn't meet you down there. You were the representative, but what was going on?
I couldn't video it because, one, it was too damn cold to take my cell phone out of my pocket. And two, I was at kind of a weird angle. It wouldn't have been a very... Were you there,
No, I'm surprised you didn't have your GoPro.
I left it at Pete's.
Yeah.
Were you there?
I was there.
Okay. Well, our friend Alderman Goshgarian did the honors. I mean, Mayor Tack was there, but then he said, I'm going to let retiring Alderman Goshgarian and his family do the tree lighting. And he got through it pretty quick. I mean...
Yeah, Randy dropped the mic before handing it to him, and this was a cloud of dust when Ara took over to count down.
So what is that? Is Ara like the heir apparent there? Is that what's going on? Is it like literally passing the torch?
Ah, nice.
That's a decision for the caucus to make. But I think
the podcast.
Actually, Joe, it's a decision that Ara has to make.
Yeah, that's true. But is it a custom of the tree lighting to have the senior alderman? No. All right.
So why did Randy?
Usually the mayor does it.
All right.
So is Ara the mayor? Wait, is it Ara or Ara? I forget.
Ara.
Airing of grievances. See what I did there?
The new era.
Festivus.
Okay, so what's with Randy not doing the lighting and passing it off on Ara? You got opinion, Skoo? No opinion?
No, I mean, that was kind of nice.
Well,
I mean, Ara's been a very good member of the council. He probably just, and all his
bad members
all his
of the
kids
council?
were home. All his kids were home. All his daughters were home for the weekend. They're all scattered about. One of his daughters, I believe, is getting married in June next year. So the whole family was there, his wife, and I forget exactly how many daughters he has offhand, but I don't know. I just took it at face value of, hey, here's retiring Alderman Goshgarian. But I'm sure people can come up with their own theories on that. And
well, that's why we're doing a podcast. Like, why didn't you?
Yeah, I mean,
he's just being a nice guy.
There's a meat grinder that decides who is the mayor and who's the alderman and all that stuff. And
I'm just saying, all the fighting we did to get Randy in, and he's not going to take, do the deal.
But he was there and he gave a speech. It wasn't like he didn't show up. He showed up. He just didn't flick a little switch.
I know. The history of the tree lighting is the mayor speaks to the crowd, does the countdown.
Skoo and I are traditionalists.
Here's the question I have.
As someone who's been to it for 4 years.
Is that switch really the switch, or is that just like a ceremonial switch and there's a real switch somewhere like over in the square or something.
Joe, I
Public Works guy.
thought that was you that tripped over the extension cord.
You know,
To
there's
answer your
some dude
question.
in a trailer with his butt crack hanging out, bent over,
That's a bad visual.
flipping a breaker switch, a la Chevy Chase.
I always wonder when they do those tree lightings, is that really the switch? But I guess we'll never know. That's it's a secret.
Well, does Randy carry around a briefcase called the football?
The football. The Lake Forest football.
Yeah, that's right. He's got the codes to Gorton Center.
I'm sorry, Randy. You're going to have to give up that suitcase.
That's
I
why
think he'd happily give it up.
by Randy and Ara, you couldn't break them apart. I think they were chained together with that briefcase. So anything else happened with it? It was just really damn cold. It was
really cold. I don't, but yeah, I mean, we went to Lantern beforehand and it was packed, and I mean, the streets were packed. You'd think with all the cold, people would stay home, but it seemed like the same amount of people as last year. So it was a good time, and it was good for the local shops. Gerhardt's had a line for people there.
Were they doing their hot chocolate?
Yeah. Mary was working and her people there.
Dakota Insurance, were you giving out free life insurance?
No. We were going to give out free popcorn, but it was too cold.
It was too cold. It was cold.
So I mean, they had the stage in the middle of Western and same old, same old.
Yep.
Okay,
and the musicians.
There was not a band afterwards. That's what's a good thing.
Well, it was probably too cold to blow into an instrument. I mean, their mouths would freeze to the horn or whatever.
Were the Rockettes going? You know, the girls
dancers,
kicking their legs.
Yeah, they had hats off to all the musicians and stuff doing that in the cold weather. They did a nice job.
Well, I'm sure they had a little eggnog. Oh wait,
these are high school kids, I think.
We'll take that out in post. Oh, open invite to you both if you want to update the annual Fireplace video where I run 12 hours continuously of me sitting in front of a fireplace drinking a Miller Lite.
Is it really you for 12 hours, or do you cycle it at some point? Because
that thing is you're drinking Miller Lite.
Oh, well, it was past 12. I can only go 12 hours straight drinking. So
did you really sit there for 12 hours, or did you sit there for 45 minutes and then it's the same loop again?
Are you that guy that goes to the magician show and says, "Oh, I see that"? Are you that guy? You're that guy. You're that guy.
Does the light to the tree really work?
So anyways, like I said, Skoo, I'm inviting you if you like to sit in front of the fireplace and
I would like that, since our fireplace doesn't work.
Okay. Well, mine's
I got a guy that can fix it for you.
Well,
sure you do.
Joe, you just send me a video of you sitting in front of the fireplace and I'll edit it.
Yeah, we have two fireplaces here. So
oh. Well, you're on the west side. All those townhomes out there. Those are the biggest townhomes I've ever seen.
Fake Forest. The most Republican precinct in Lake Forest. Trump won it by 99 votes.
That got us a listener.
What did that do?
Even Carl Lambrecht won it, but that's very inside.
Since you brought up Trump, he's going to be at Notre Dame. They finally fixed that church up from the fire.
Oh, in France?
In Francais, yes.
You going?
Huh?
You going?
I got an invite. I
hear you're making a journey across the pond.
I could not. You never want to tell people what you're doing on a podcast or all your shit gets taken.
It's true.
Okay, so that's it for the tree lighting. Skoo, you got anything,
good.
Mr. 40-year? What was the best tree lighting ever, Skoo?
When the streakers happened? Oh, wait, that was back in the 70s. No.
What were you wearing?
Or what
was
not
I wearing? I was in the 70s wearing my tough skins.
Oh, God, I remember
Playing
those.
baseball in the street and sliding.
Ooh,
I remember the Sears Toughskins. I remember those.
you,
Those are awesome.
you always had a little tube of Benactin in your back pocket.
I wish they
Ah,
still made them for my son when he was growing up because he could have used them.
literally could slide on the pavement.
What's worse, gravel or pavement?
Oh, gravel at least get some give.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
That's like the old AstroTurf.
Cement, you stop.
Oh, yeah, that old AstroTurf was crazy.
I was down at a Bears game years and years ago for punt, pass, and kick, buddy of mine, and we're standing on the turf, and I'm telling it was like, a green piece of paper over cement.
How Walter Payton played on that turf for, what was it, 13 years is beyond me.
Or how Wendell Davis didn't. Not one, but two blown out knees. Remember that, Philadelphia? That's some nasty turf. Skoo, you want to close out high school football? East St.
Sure.
Louis, how the hell do they keep putting up a powerhouse team? Is that the only source of revenue that East St. Louis has, is that high school football team? How do they do it?
They've been that way for years.
Even when we were
Well, it
tight.
used to be East St. Louis, East St. Louis Lincoln.
Yeah.
Then they combined. But yeah, that's that team could be. What they should do now is have all 8 schools play each other,
Like an all-star.
A playoff?
and I guarantee East St. Louis would probably crush everyone.
What's interesting, I'm curious to hear your take on this. Other than that, and East St. Louis beat another public school, but all the other classes were won
East
by
St. Louis
private.
beat Geneva.
Right, another public school. All the other classes were won by private schools, and there's this big debate about whether it's fair that public schools have to play private schools because private schools have an edge in terms of recruiting kids and stuff like that.
What's my take on that?
Yeah,
I mean, that's okay.
I don't know. It's a big debate. It's a big debate, and every time I read an article about high school sports, they're like, "Is it fair that public schools?" Because public schools have to basically go with the kids that live in the school district. Private school, Montini and Loyola, all these schools, they can get whoever they want, and they recruit the best kids for their football team or their basketball team, and usually they crush the public schools because of that.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean,
not always. Loyola beat Lake Forest beat who was the Catholic school out in Mundelein they beat this year?
Carmel.
They beat Carmel.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't know. I don't think that's much of a argument at all nowadays.
I just remember back in the day people saying they should have separate leagues for private and public because of that.
Joe, back in the day there was only 4 classes.
Yeah.
Well,
now there's 8?
And Joliet Catholic was a big one, but that's when you didn't have people going to Joliet Catholic unless they were out that way, and there's no public schools that were any good academically.
Well, shout out to
it's 8 classes? Yeah, shout out to the Scouts. Had a great year. Give those kids credit. 3rd round of the playoffs, nothing to sneeze at.
Geneva.
Yeah, that's just the sad thing about 6A is like you can get as far as that quarterfinal game, and that's about it. For anything.
So maybe we need like 10 divisions instead of 8.
I mean, Geneva's a good team. Cary Grove was a good team.
Yeah.
Cary Grove's won it. Prairie Ridge, Cary Grove, they're not Catholic schools.
Right.
They've won it.
Well, it seems like that division is mostly public schools, but some of the others, I mean, the old Gordon Tech, which is now Chicago DePaul, they won a championship, and they didn't even have a football team like 10 years ago, I read.
And they got girls there now.
2A or something like that.
Yeah. 1980, Gordon Tech won the state. That was the last time. They could play some ball over there. Tom Winicki.
Was Gordon Tech a CPS school?
No. Catholic.
Oh, okay.
All boys. That's why I didn't go there. No offense. Lane Tech.
No, I think the public schools are fine. They're eventually going to be, these smaller ones are going to be gobbled up, and it's going to be a co-op, and you're going to have, you know, Lake Forest smaller schools and all that could eventually be a co-op because just of the
But what are the
population.
commonalities? Why are these certain areas? Can you draw a correlation to tax revenues or something like? Why are they always successful and then others are not?
Well, I mean, look at out in the Lombard area. You got Montini, you got Lombard, Glenbard, all the Glenbards. I mean, there's a ton of schools out there in that whole Naperville area. You got probably 5 or 6 8A schools within a 10-mile radius.
My boy Tim Racky played ball with him back in the days over at Nazareth. I think he won another championship. I'm still trying to figure out what the.
They're tough. They won it
Smart.
last year. They were like 500 and they won it.
Yeah. So I mean, coaching. Okay, Tim. There you go. There's your credit. Coaching. All right. All the
And
Coaching's
then,
a lot to do. Coaching's a lot to do with it.
speaking of football coaches, did you hear Robbie Gold resigned as the Rolling Meadows
yeah.
head coach? And the rumor is he's going to coach St. Viator.
Viators. Of course.
I'd like him to coach the Bears, personally. I can't get any worse.
Viators. You know what? The Viators commit.
Was that Cole Kmet?
Cole Kmet and Jared Payton
Oh, wow.
and Max Jansons.
I think I've said this before on the show that Cole Kmet's grandfather was my gym teacher in high school. So
Did you like climbing the rope?
we didn't do that in high school.
You'll love climbing the rope.
We didn't.
Look at me. I'm
We
going
did
to
that
slide down the rope now. Oh,
we did that in grade school. We did the rope climbing. High school, we just played.
When did they stop rope
Volleyball.
climbing? Because that was definitely a differentiator of genders.
I think they stopped it when one kid took the buckle of the rope that had the knot on it and whacked someone in line.
They used to remember Galleons. You had the remember Galleons Sporting Goods had the rope climbing right in the center of the store. That was cool. But,
Aliens.
Galleons, never heard of it.
oh, it's now Dick's Sporting Goods, but
Oh.
back they used to be Galleons, and they had a rope
Throw
climbing.
something out. Throw out like Maury Mages or something like that. And of course,
Maury Mages.
you like that?
It's Sport Mart.
Stanley Garage Doors.
Floor after floor of stuff. And none of the cleats ever fit.
Cleats.
Cleats. Yeah, you had to
So,
buy your stuff.
Pete, did you have to switch out your cleats every game? Size of cleat for different turfs?
No, but I did. No, there was gym shoes and there was cleats. That was it. Hanson Park. I would put that up there with that Philadelphia turf.
Gym shoes, they're just Chuck Taylors were the only ones.
That's what I mean. Gym shoes. Yeah, Chuck Taylor's.
No wonder
All-star.
people had knee injuries and all that.
All-star, baby. Hey, whatever. Rub a little.
So
dirt
Hanson
on
Park
it.
was Hanson Park Lane Tech or Southern Illinois.
Hanson Park was a high school field, Central in Fullerton, and right, it was one of the public places you could go. The other one was on Gately. You don't want to go to Gately. You don't want to play in Gately. That's
That
Lane
was
Tech has a cool old stadium though,
yeah. They put some money into it. Yeah, it's all
and the baseball field got totally redone thanks to Kerry Wood.
Kerry Wood. Yeah. Now it's like Lane Tech's
Kerry
a
Wood?
school now.
Former Illinois resident Kerry
40
Wood.
strikeouts. No, he's part owner of.
Yeah, but he moved.
Did he
Well,
go
Moved
to
to
Tech?
he moved to Tennessee after his youngest kid graduated high school. He moved to Tennessee.
Sorry, who's he again?
Hey,
Do you know who his final pitch was to? It was to a member of the White Sox.
really,
Harry Wood.
Yeah.
Ozzy.
Oh. That doesn't ring a bell.
Well, congratulations to both of you guys for setting that record. Can you beat it this year? Next
Sure
season?
They're
can
sure going to
try.
try with Will Venable keeping the same coaches.
Speaking of coaches, we'll touch on it briefly. Can the Bears just stop? Virginia McCaskey, 101 years old. How long can she go? They're just waiting. They're just waiting before they sell.
Isn't that kind of strange that they promote the quarterback coach or whoever that was to head or offensive coordinator and like, you know what? You're doing so good. We're going to promote you to head coach.
Yeah, for the rest of the game.
He'll be gone after the season's over too. I think the whole coaching staff's going to get cleared out.
Caleb, who would you like to be your coach?
I like the press conference.
I don't know.
Press conference yesterday with Warren and Poles.
Oh, God.
Poles' eyes were so like deer in the headlights. Like, yeah, waiting for. Is he going to say something on the air?
He's scared of Warren. You can tell that. But
he should be. He's horrible.
Yeah.
Should have never hired him.
I don't wish anybody to pass away. Virginia, live as long as you want. Just give up the reins of the damn thing.
I'm going to say, though, when she does pass away, I don't think it's going to change because I think the McCaskey kids are running the show anyways right now, and they're not doing a very good job. And they're not going to sell this. It's their golden goose.
Well, how much gold do you need?
That's what what I wish they would do.
They know it.
I wish they would sell 51% of the team to somebody else who would make the investments to win. Do you know that when they hired Eberflus, they interviewed Dan Quinn, who's now the head coach of the Washington Redskins Commanders. But back then, Quinn was an assistant for the Dallas Cowboys, and they flew him in for the interview coach. And Jerry Jones found out about it and flew him home on the Dallas Cowboys private jet and I guess called up McCaskey and said, don't ever do that to any of my coaches ever again.
I don't get a problem with that.
You got some good intel.
It was in the paper. My intel is the. I think it was on one of the ESPN shows, actually.
Okay. So there's the Bears. So they're just doing it again. Draft a top 10 quarterback.
Did that surprise anybody? Come on.
It's just a carousel of failure. How they made the Super Bowl with Lovie Smith.
One of their biggest issues last couple of years was offensive line. And they go out and get all these offensive play producers. But, let me forget fill in the blanks here.
Well, they got 58. What's his face? And I don't see him making.
I'm glad they got rid of David Montgomery. He was washed up.
Yeah. No. I don't know. Let's get on to something else. I'm starting to get irritated. Joe, you had something itching in your craw, or maybe Ara through you, a proxy. What the hell was he? I watched that city council thing twice. I didn't see anything that Ara said that was like.
Well, if you go to the 42-minute mark.
Yeah.
Ara gave a little lecture about.
Share the screen.
Does this work? Hold on. Let's see.
God. Is this on?
Hold on. Is this on? Hold on. Let me find.
Hello.
Who?
Yeah.
Quit scratching the screen.
Hold on. I'm pulling up the part of the.
Get rid of the
see
form.
Me? Can you see me now?
Oh, you got something right here.
Oh, right.
It's candy corn.
Ooh. Still got some.
Skoo, what are the Christmas, holiday candies popular?
Oh, peppermint bark from Williams-Sonoma. Ooh.
Williams-Sonoma, you go there?
I do.
Wow. You
Tasty.
are
Expensive, though.
You are a Renaissance man.
All right. Let's see if this works here.
Oh, my God.
Is there any talking?
Can you hear it?
No.
Can't hear Elizabeth Hollab?
No.
I got it cranked. I told you this wouldn't work.
Well, on your you can on your audio on your Zoom, You got to check it to the full.
Wait. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing,
Yeah,
and then what do you want me to check?
just on your Zoom when you do.
Audio,
Yeah,
same as system. It is same as system.
Seem to understand what's going on here. I need some help.
help, please. Skoo, do you do Elf on the Shelf?
I do. And boy, does that scare the crap out of my kids when I was growing up, or they were growing up.
Like, what was the? I didn't get the allure of that. Just like, oh look, it's like fake
the
Santa
greatest.
wasn't enough. You got to do this elf that's transporting all over the place.
It was fantastic with the kids. It's like, ah!
All right, Joe, I'll get it. What did Ara say?
Yeah, I'll send you the timestamps. But there's two moments in the council meeting that happened Monday night where Alderman Goshgarian spoke out.
Yeah.
The first was after the tax levy. He just wanted to raise a warning flag saying, okay, we're fine now, but there's some storms coming ahead because of the pensions and things like that. And maybe after we do the police station, we should think about not having another big project after that. It's basically what he said because of the pensions. And he also called out the school district saying, because their pensions are going to go up too, because of there's a whole thing in Springfield about boosting pensions.
Rec center's next, boys.
I don't know.
Take care of the rec center.
Alderman Goshgarian might have a different view than you on that. So
I don't think so.
Did I ever go to the rec center, Skoo, back in the day? Did Ara?
Ara never went to the Rex growing up. Never.
Yeah.
No. Not like I did. I was living there.
I know. I'm saying you have a passion for it. Okay, so that's what I missed. He was like,
that's the first moment. Then there was a moment later on when they do the omnibus agenda, which is like a consent agenda. They put all these things together that they vote on as one, but any alderman can take something off.
Wait,
so
that's what he called Lake Bluff Deadbeats.
Public improvements in the Oak Knoll Woodland subdivision, approval by motion. Are there any items that council members would like removed or taken separately?
I do, actually, and I'm sorry to do this. This is my 6th year on council. I've never pulled something off the omnibus. It gives me PTSD. But item number 4, our IGA with the Village of Lake Bluff. Ted, Eileen, and I will recall a few years back we had payment issues with the Village of Lake Bluff that extended over a rather long period of time. And as I read through this, I'm not a lawyer, thank God for that, right? But my concern is they were in arrears many years with us, and it took quite a bit of doing with them to extract what they owed us to be reimbursed, and we actually took a haircut on that. I think Ted and Eileen will remember that. Within this agreement, I read through it the other night and I thought, well, maybe I'm missing something. What do we do if they fall in arrears again like that? Because it was a rather substantial amount of money. I don't want to, people can dig for it if they want, but what do we do? I see that we're supposed to reconcile this on a quarterly basis, but if we find that they are not fulfilling that obligation, which was hard to believe that they didn't do that in the first place. What is our recourse, and what do we intend to do?
Sure. Well, and I can defer to either Elizabeth or Julie on what our recourse would be in that scenario. I would say, just for the benefit of the council or aldermen who weren't here during the sort of last round of amendments to the IGA, there was effectively a difference of interpretation in how EMS billing should have occurred, and so part of our process in negotiating the amended agreement was I think there was an understanding that the issue in question, and I have to admit I don't recall all of the specifics to it. Maybe Elizabeth, you do, but that the city agreed to waiving a portion of the outstanding balance in exchange for concessions to receive more favorable language on how we would bill moving forward. And so there was, again, a modest credit, if for lack of a better term, applied to retroactive payments once there was, a common agreement on how we would charge for billing moving forward. But as part of that negotiation, the city stood to come out significantly ahead on an annual basis every year moving forward. So I only provide that distinction to say it was a little different than them just not paying the bill, if you will, from, the IGA. This one is pretty black and white in terms of how the billing will be applied. We've worked very hard to make sure that any discrepancies or differences of interpretation within the IGA have been cleaned up. I'm pretty confident at this point that this is really the last time we'll need to revisit or amend this IGA moving forward. But as with, any provider, if they were delinquent on their payments, Elizabeth, do you recall what language we have in the agreement to address that? My suspicion is that it would just result in the termination of the agreement. And in that case, what's that?
I can jump.
Oh, sure.
So just as with any other contract, if a party doesn't perform, the other party can bring, this would be the last case option of a remedy, but we can bring a lawsuit for breach of contract and enforce that in court. If they don't comply with their obligations under the agreement, we have the right always to go to court on a breach of contract. I would think there would be a lot of trying to work something out and collections and other options before we got to that. There's also the Local Government Prompt Payment Act, which requires local governments to pay their invoices and bills within a certain time, or we can collect interest on that. So we can also include penalties and interest under state statute. So little different options for how to collect.
But I will just note, though, that we do have a very strong partnership with the Village of Lake Bluff. This has been a service arrangement that's been beneficial to both parties for many, many years. For those that aren't familiar, the intergovernmental agreement covers ambulance and emergency medical services, plan review and inspectional services for community development, CROIA, seniors. And so, I don't have any concerns about the village being in default to future payment, because it would ultimately jeopardize the level of services that we provide to them, which their community relies on, critically. So I'm comfortable with this moving forward. Again, I'm pleased and appreciative of our partners in Lake Bluff for getting us to this point. The last sort of outstanding issue, as I said, with the agreement was the service charge formula for CROIA services, youth services. I think we've sufficiently addressed that now, and I'm confident that this agreement, again, will stand the test of time for many years to come.
So what's the protocol here? You asked to have it removed, so are we approving 13?
I wanted more information.
Okay.
Just because of our experience that we had in the previous council, because my interpretation of those discussions in executive session were, because it was potentially litigious in nature, we needed to speak about it. There was a certain amount of forgiveness for them for their misinterpretation of what was going on. So my question was, moving forward, is the language far more specific? So forgive the term, so we don't have any more freeloading, is what it is. And as you heard my comments earlier, I'm pretty concerned about making sure that, we're providing the services that we need to do for our residents, not in addition to somebody else who's not paying their fair
Yeah,
share.
totally agree. I'm just trying to find the protocol
You
for
have
the
a
actual.
procedural question, which I was
Correct.
going to ask is, since this was pulled out and discussed, do we have to vote on that separately, or can that stay within the omnibus?
It's really up to all of you. Typically, when something is pulled out, it's for a separate vote, because somebody may want to vote against it. There may be the thought to make special comments about that particular item in a motion, or make an amendment to the motion.
Can I put it back in?
Right. If the rest of the council is comfortable that this was just asking questions it can be voted on within the omnibus because there's been no motion on this item yet.
Okay. Then, reading the room, I believe we'll leave that in the omnibus vote and vote on all 14 items at this time.
Thank you for indulging me.
At this time, can I ask?
Yeah, he said the Village of Lake Bluff had not paid their bills on some agreement. I think it was for shared services like Gorton and Croya.
Yeah,
or
we'll
something like
share.
that.
We'll share.
And they not only were they in arrears, but they had to forgive some of the debt apparently. So he expressed concern about renewing that agreement. Jason stepped in and said he was confident that they had rectified the problem, and so Ara then pulled back. But it was interesting.
Either you pay the bill or you don't. Did Lake Bluff pay the damn bill? Jason,
Apparently not.
Mr. Nice guy.
I'm sorry.
Is Lake Bluff that
You haven't got that yet?
insolvent? Is
What's
Lake Bluff that insolvent that they can't pay a bill to the city of Lake Forest?
I think they're that cheap.
I mean, they got all those car dealerships. They got the
Mine.
Target.
Mine.
We'll have to get the French mayor of Lake Bluff on the show to explain himself.
Skoo, your thoughts?
I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. To get Ara on the show.
Yeah, when did he come on?
May 6th or whenever is the meeting he steps down. That's when he'll come on, I think.
Oh, that's when he starts running for mayor.
He won't come on the show. Though.
Ara versus Melanie Rummel.
Oh, don't bring her up again.
I miss Melanie. I miss you.
She misses you, I'm sure.
Michael, I miss you. Hey, Mr. Luby, I miss you too. I can't think of 3 more people that love me more than those 3 people.
I can.
Oh, well, I don't know what Prue thinks.
I thought you said Susan Garrett was going to get Prue to come on the show. When's that happening?
Susan is going to come on the show.
Susan?
She's always, a person of her word, and
Yeah.
we're going to decompress. Hopefully California's done counting the ballots by then.
Some guy just conceded a congressional race in California this morning. It's been like a month.
Whatever. Skoo, I know you like to talk politics.
I love talking politics.
All right, so that was Ara. Okay, so I did see him calling Lake Bluff deadbeats, and then I got to see. Hold up,
He called them deadbeats.
He did not use the word deadbeat.
he did use deadbeat. He did.
Did he use the word deadbeat? I missed
it. He did it in the off. What are you laughing at, Skoo? He did. He said something like passive aggressive and said.
I highly doubt he would say that.
Okay.
Did he say it?
Roll the tape, Pete.
Deadbeat came up. But he said it in a way where he didn't say it. He said something like, well, they don't pay their bills, but I'm not really calling them a deadbeat, but I am. One of those types of things.
Well, that's the old thing. Well, I'm not really saying you're a jerk, but you are.
What bill does Lake Bluff owe Lake Forest?
It was something to do, I think, with Croya.
Oh, no.
I guess the kids at Lake Bluff can use Croya.
They're high school students.
Yeah, so there was something
for the high school students.
Right, but so there was some formula where they pay it's for the high school students, but it's run by the city. So the Village of Lake Bluff pays the city of Lake Forest some amount of money for that, and I think there might have been some other stuff.
Okay, so Lake Bluff, do we hear different if the French dude wants to come on and explain himself? How much they owe us? Do we know?
It's been resolved, according to Jason Wicca.
Wait, resolve can mean did they pay the damn bill or not?
No, it shouldn't have been brought up.
Should not have been brought up. Okay, fair enough. Switching over to the Lake Forest Caucus, who sent out their handout mail on Tuesday, because it's another Hallmark holiday, Giving Tuesday. How about giving to this podcast, you bunch of freaking deadbeats?
Well, why didn't you post something on Tuesday saying here's a link to give money
I'm not
to
a
Lake Forest?
douchebag.
You got your Patreon. What is it called? The supporters.
Yeah. By the way, I love our current Patreon supporters. Power to you. Just wish there were more damn cheap.
Well, that you could have done that for Giving Tuesday. You could have promoted
But
that.
anyways, so I put a little post out there that Skoo's going to love.
Come on, leave them alone.
Now, they had 300 grand to put a nice rock up in that park, and what can't the
And all their
American-
scholarships.
can't yeah, like 20 grand.
More than that.
No, dude, I went through the I'm not going to get into it yet, but all I'm saying is American Legion helped Lake Forest when Lake Forest needed help. I get it, right? Now, not so much. So you got the money coming in on Lake Forest Day. Lake Forest Caucus needs help. Can't Caucus and Legion kind of work hand in hand on that day to... No?
Why does the caucus need help?
They need money.
For what?
Contested elections for
The next time a rich person decides to run.
Have you
as
seen
an
the
independent
website? They
candidate
did
for mayor.
upgrade it, but it's lipstick on a pig. I mean, they need a lot of stuff.
They won't have contested elections
Yeah.
This year.
if they interview correctly.
Skoo, are you one of them Jews?
What?
You know what I'm talking about?
What? No.
Oh, when they do the
Oh, the Orthodox.
the Moshe. Where's Moshe at? You got the Torah in there? All right, continue.
No, they don't.
We'll
they
edit
don't-
that out and post. Moshe, come on, baby, I love you.
We love Moshe. He's a good guy.
Come on,
Go ahead.
I'm waiting for you. All I'm saying is,
Why would the caucus and
so you're saying
Legion-
there's no administrative costs in running the caucus?
No, they have a pool of money.
Is it a big enough pool?
Remember different
Like,
strokes?
if
That's
they
my
did
concern.
if they interviewed and did the way they're supposed to do it, they wouldn't have contested elections. Period.
You
Okay.
saying they didn't interview right with the Prue Byler debacle?
No, I'm not talking about that. You're going to get contested elections. Well, why? That's the role of the caucus to, if they have a contested election, they have to fund it. I mean, part of it is raising money too. Why would why mix that with what the Legion does? Let's get one thing straight first. With the Legion, their biggest thing is Lake Forest Day.
Yeah.
Who's going to do it if they step out? Cities turned it down numerous times over the years. That's never going to happen. It'll just go away. Legion goes away, so does that.
It's $250,000. I'll take it over. Farm it out to the
Plus, the Legion is a charitable organization.
501c3.
The caucus is not. Caucus is a political organization. Donations to the caucus are not tax deductible. They're two separate things. You can't really commingle that.
Wait, why not?
Because you can't commingle political funds. Now, a political party can choose to donate to a charity, but not the other way
What the
around.
Legion's done over the years for Lake Forest, leave them alone. They've
Yeah.
done great things, and they continue to do great things.
When is that over, though?
And
It's
they're all
diminishing.
vets.
But
They did great things when they served in the military.
Got
too,
it. But they have a surplus. We don't.
because
Okay,
they know how they know what they're doing.
there's a ton of nonprofits in town or close to in town that have surpluses and don't need it.
Okay.
So they
Do
should
they
all
total-
contribute,
do they
they should
total
all
over
contribute to
$500,000?
other. They should contribute to other nonprofits.
I think if the caucus is as important as you say, Skoo, and I agree with you,
Why can't they raise money? Why can't they put on events or something that's going to raise money?
Okay, then do another carnival. Can Lake Forest do another carnival for the caucus?
I think that's something that's waning as it is. I mean, there's not.
Yeah.
I think
Well, here's the
I
thing.
think they need to do
Wednesday.
fundraisers. I think the caucus should do fundraisers like all other political campaigns, unless you have somebody independently wealthy.
They do. The caucus has fundraisers, and they have,
Yeah,
that's on them to do, but they don't. Just
they
like
just put
should
it out. It's
just
Giving
like they
Tuesday.
should be looking at all their resumes that are sitting in their database instead of sending out emails passively saying, "Oh, we need to fill spots. Let me know if you want to be an alderman or a plan commissioner." They should be doing the other way, is calling those people that have interviewed before. They're in the most passive way of getting people to volunteer
But
I've ever seen.
in the interest of transparency, shouldn't they announce that these are what the current vacancies are?
No, Joe, you're wrong. What they should be doing is there's 8 people in each ward representing the ward. That's their role, and the chairman of each ward is to get that word out that, hey, we have 2 positions in the 3rd ward for library board and plan commission. Those people on that we elect into the 3rd ward caucus should be out roughing the bushes for those people. And the first thing they should be doing is pulling up the VSPs of all those people that have interviewed before. They're not doing that. They're sending out a passive, hey, we need help. Well, what help do you need? You have 8 people that have been elected in your ward to do that.
I think they can do both. I think they can do what you just said, but also put out an email or a Facebook post too. The more word you get out, the better. And you're right; they should. People should get their name into the VPS.
Why isn't the ward chairman doing that?
I think they are.
No, they're not. Have you ever gotten an email from the ward chairman saying there's positions open to interview?
Not an email, but I've had the ward chairman say.
Keep going, guys. Be right back.
What, you got to go to the bathroom? I've had the ward chairman say to me one-on-one, which is the best form of communication, hey, we're looking for this and that, just so you know.
Did you fill out a VSP?
I have a VSP in this VPS in the system.
Whatever.
Yeah. VSP is my vision care
She came
plan.
to you and said, hey, listen, we looked at your resume. We want you to run.
No, not in the context of me, but in the context of, hey, we want to fill these.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't see the harm in doing what you said. You're right. The chairs should go out and do that.
There's not no harm to do it. That's what they're elected to do.
But I don't see the harm in addition to doing that, also putting out an email and a Facebook post.
That's fine too. Joe, they're not doing.
So do both. I don't think it's an either or.
They're not doing what they're elected to do. They don't.
In some cases, you're probably right.
No.
But in other cases,
in all cases, they should be, and I've interviewed for other positions, they should be the first go is they're interviewing at the ward level, not a subcommittee that was formed. Every board and commission, an opening in that ward starts at the ward level interview.
But board.
And it's not happening, Joe.
All right.
They're going, you know what, Joe, here's the thing. The alderman position, that didn't go to the 3rd ward or the 4th ward. That went to a special committee of people to make a decision. They are creating internally these committees to interview certain candidates and taking away everything that's supposed to happen in the wards and diminishing what the ward's responsibilities are.
So I understand for aldermen, which is the 3rd ward alderman. Let me finish the thought. But okay, you're right for aldermen. The 3rd ward committee the 3rd ward caucus should do the 3rd ward, should pick the 3rd ward alderman. But should, when you get to a citywide position like plan commission or zoning board, any of those boards or commissions, do you then?
Joe, let me ask you a question. Joe, let me ask you a question. All the boards and commissions, what's the breakup? What's the makeup, not breakup? What's the makeup of each board and commission by ward?
That I don't know. But so you're saying there should be a certain number of seats for each
representation in every ward is what should be on every board and commission.
Okay.
That's why you have 4 wards and 8 people in each ward interviewing for your ward.
So
You don't pan off and say, I have a alderman position in the second ward, and you take that person, you interview in that ward. Those are who the neighbors.
I get it ward to ward. That I get. But I'm saying for citywide positions, you're saying they should divvy up the seats on that commission so that there's a
No,
certain
Joe, I'm
number
not
from
saying
each
they should
ward.
divvy up. They already are.
Okay.
They've always been. Look at the aldermen.
So if
How
there's
many-
an opening,
how
so if
many
there's
how many aldermen in each ward?
two.
Right. And it goes right down the wards and the boards and
So
commissions.
if I look at the plan commission, there's there's 7 people on the plan commission, if I remember correctly. So I don't know how that divvies up 7 to 4 wards, but
Every ward has to be represented.
because I think all those commissions are an odd number so that you never have a tie.
Yeah, and you have representation in every ward. They are not representing
Okay.
every ward anymore.
Which ward gets 1 instead of 2?
What? Here's
Which
how
ward-
here, Joe, here's how it works. Oh, it's so hard to interview. I can't find anybody. Okay. Well, I got this guy in the 4th ward that we're interviewing for plan commission. Well, we'll just put him in, even though technically the spot is third ward.
Okay, so
Because
you're
it's so hard to
saying
find people. No,
okay.
it's not. Do your job internally. You
All
have
right.
these stacks and stacks of resumes. Each ward member should be taking those and say, oh, you know what? We have a library board member available in the 3rd ward. Let's go through the resumes and start calling these people and finding out if they want to interview for the ward.
Okay, I get that. My
You're not
question
doing
to
that,
you.
Joe.
All right, okay, but let's say we are doing that.
You're not. Let's say we're not, which is true.
Hypothetically, it's being done. What do you do? Because all these commissions are 7 members. They're odd numbers because you can't have a tie. The city council can have a tie and the mayor breaks it. But the commissions are all 7. There's 4 wards. So 1 ward only gets 1 member instead of 2. How do you rectify that in this
You
idea
have a
that you're
board
talking?
member. You have a board chairman of each commission and board.
No, I think it's 7 total. The chairman is one of the members.
But I don't have it off the top of my head, but I do know what's happening and what should be happening, and that's why when you guys all cry about, we're going to turn into Highland Park. Well, we're self-turning into it because we're not doing the jobs that the
Skoo.
wards are supposed to be doing.
Skoo,
Yeah.
Arouca's got 4 months left, and Regina's coming in.
She's horrible.
Yeah. What's
I said in an interview and she was sleeping, not paying attention. I didn't know who she was, and I had to ask afterwards. Oh yeah, that's the president to be. Thanks for giving your time on that interview.
That's not the first time I've heard that. Regina and I, we go back and forth. I got nothing good or bad.
Hey, listen, here's the thing, guys. When you send out passive emails because you don't want to do the hard work that it involves, you are inherently developing and bringing in people with agendas. Because when you ask someone and say, who wants to be this? You're going to people that go, I want to be that. That's an agenda coming into it. And then when they say, we only got 1 person replying to it, so we're going to, interview them. I mean, it's.
But you kind of do that now with the VPS because you check off the things that you're interested in when you fill out the VPS form.
Yeah, Joe. When you're filling out, when you're on you should volunteer and be on the 3rd ward caucus committee because you can then see how it works. These caucus committee members should be pulling up 3rd ward VPSs and reading them and saying, oh, you know what? This guy's come through here. This gal's come through here before. We got an opening. Let's call them or email them. That's the first step, not sending out, this is so hard, please call us to fill positions.
I guess, how do we fix the damn?
There's a big difference inherently doing that.
See, I think you can do both. I think you should do what you're talking about, but I think they should also do the
Joe,
email.
I totally agree with you. You have to do that first. That's your job on the
Yeah, no,
caucus
I'm not
committee.
disagreeing with you that they should build it from within. The only thing I'm saying is whenever anyone goes to that website and fills out a VPS, they have to check off. There's a list of every possible
you have
thing,
to check off-
including mayor.
And you know what,
including
Joe?
mayor.
Maybe that's what, because you know what? I've been in interviews.
So you want to take the check offs
I've
off?
been in interviews before for whatever position, and I've checked off stuff, and you get some idiot on there going, "Hey, you an agenda because you said you want to be mayor."
How did you prepare for this meeting?
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like, what do you mean?
Wait, unless you're Nancy.
It's
I
the-
didn't.
you know what?
So
Yeah, I was told
so
that
you're
happened.
saying, so are you saying they should take those checkoffs off and just have you just fill out your
No, Joe, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying you do your job on the interview end.
okay?
And you don't have morons asking you, oh, you have an agenda because you checked mayor. You want to be mayor. No. Yeah, if I'm interviewing for that, yeah, I'll check that because you asked me to check what I'm interested in. I'm interested in all of them.
So you checked every
Sign
single
me up.
box.
Sign me up. But then you have people on the other side with their own agendas that are in the caucus committee, and they're, taking it for a different value that it's supposed to be and not doing the right thing. Then you should never be questioned about, and I'm not talking about me, but you never should be questioned about why you checked these boxes. When
Then maybe, like I said, then they should take
well,
the
here's the thing,
boxes
Joe. If I
away.
don't check any box, what would you say? Oh, why does he want to? Why does he want to?
Well,
Why does he
then
want to do anything?
Then I think, based on what you're saying, they should take away those boxes, and everybody just fills out a VPS.
No, because it helps. If you're doing, Joe, you're missing the point. If you do your job that the three of us elected these people to do, it's a guide. It's not supposed to be a hammer. And a lot of times these people are taking this authority they think they have and using it as a hammer, saying, Joe checked mayor. He's interested in mayor. It doesn't say, what do you want to be? It says, what are you interested in?
So,
mayor. I'm interested in alderman. I'm interested in. Okay, that's great. But I'm interviewing for library board. Well, here, Joe, you said you want to be mayor. Isn't that an agenda? No, it's not.
So if you get a call from your ward chair saying, Skoo, we'd like to consider you for the cemetery commission, what's your response?
What do you mean? What's my response? Yeah, sure, I'll interview.
Okay. Is there any commission you would say no way, no how?
Nope. If someone called me from the caucus and said, we have a position open, would you like to do it? I enjoy volunteering my services and I think I can add value. I say, yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Why not? Why not?
Okay.
If I said no, that turns into,
This podcast.
Joe, you've ever been asked to interview?
On their podcast. There's a bigger problem, isn't there, Skoo? Like we're playing the telephone game over 90 years, and there isn't anything in writing that says this is how this should be done. We're relying on the goodwill of others to do the right thing, and I don't believe in that. There is no goodwill, and you have term limits, which can be a good thing, but you have people with third of the people know what they're doing, third of the people don't, and the third are coming in. Isn't that how it works? So you're just trying to get by because you're interviewing all day. Nothing ever gets fixed. We're reactionary and we're not being proactive. Proactive meaning there should be some type of money set aside. So whoever's raising the funds, okay, that's a problem. There's no budget. There should be a budget. There's a bunch of finance people on that caucus. There should be some money in there that at least they could get the interest payment on to fund administration costs or something.
And they have a person on the exec council that's fundraising, right? They always have.
They've always sucked. How many Ferrari parties can you go to?
They're not creative enough because here's the thing. I get back to this whole thing is it's becoming a badge of honor to be on this. And the badge of honor means they're not doing their work. And here's the other thing that drags in even further. When you have these people and not all of them, a lot of them do understand it, but
A third.
the ones that don't, they get on and like, well, I thought it was going to be this. You mean I got to do this? And then they don't show up. But what happens?
That has been a
But
problem. That
what happens is, when you start doing that, then you have all of a sudden the boards and commissions turn into that. Well, yeah, I want to be on the plan commission because that would be good for me to be on. And then you realize when you're on it, then you're on it and you're going like, I got to do all this work. I don't have time. I'm a CEO. Well, and that's why I was elected onto this board because of my leadership skills. I'm not going to do work. And then they bail out of it. I mean, that's the thing but it starts at the caucus committee. If you're not doing your job, interviewing people, reviewing the resumes, and knocking on doors of your neighbors, or going to a block party of your neighbors and you talk to your friends and all that and say, this person would be really good on the caucus if you're on it. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it used to work. And it doesn't now because you got people that go, God, I don't want to do that. Wait, what? I mean, I got to look at resumes and all that? Or I don't have time to do that. And then people start bailing and then they start creating these subcommittees to handle all the work of the ward people because we can't get
I agree
people
with
to
that.
show up at a ward meeting.
I agree with that. So again, it gets to the point, why
It's a downhill thing of the people on the boards and commissions.
Well, does it need to be revamped? Do you need 9 in each ward? I know you're a traditionalist, but why is there 9 for each ward?
I don't know. That's a good question now. I think, Pete, to be honest with you, I think it still needs to stay that way. It's just, you have to do, whether it's 9 or not, it's allowing, and this is where the breakdown has been for probably the last 10 years, or maybe even more, is this, all of a sudden, this power of this exec council telling the caucus how to do stuff when that's not how it should be. It's, I'm sorry, you guys can't interview this person. It's this top-down push at the people that, again, we elect. The exec council is not elected by the public.
Skoo, let's draw a line in the sand. Let's draw a line in the sand right now because something recently came up and we brought up the cell tower at the beginning, and I'm getting some crap on this. I called out Viktor. He went up in front of the public, and he's a Ward 4 chairman, and he was one of 40 people that said, "Oh, I don't want a cell tower because it looks crappy." Should a ward chairman go up there and do that? Because you're not representing just the Ward 4, you're doing the whole city, right?
They should not. I mean, you step on the caucus as a person that you're trying to fill positions, and the first leg of that stool, if you will, is non-biased, nonpartisan, that type of thing. And when you raise your hand to do that, you have to not do that. You can sit back in the weeds there and say, meet with your local people and say, this is how I feel, but I'm not going to stand up. I can't. I'm supposed to be objective to this.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting crap for bullying. What did I heard? He said I'm bullying him.
Who?
Viktor, I believe, allegedly is saying
I
that
don't know,
Pete Jansons am bullying him in a public forum because he went into a public forum and pulled a Kamala Harris about the cell phone tower that he's mooching off of, that we have shitty service because they won't allow a cell phone tower in Ward 4.
He probably should not have done that. I mean, just because of being on the caucus, he's supposed to be, what happens if he interviews somebody and they ask him, I don't agree with, I want the cell tower. Now you know that your ward chair that you're interviewing for position is against what you believe in.
Isn't that kind of a game, though, that everybody deep down has views on things and has an agenda?
Everyone has a view on it, but when you raise your hand to volunteer and you're actually an elected position,
leadership position,
No,
by the
I get
public,
that part, but I'm just saying,
you
I
have to
think
kind of
That's a big part to
you
get.
got to pull back a little bit, and you have to have that restraint to go, you know what, this is something probably I shouldn't voice my opinion publicly, but this is how I feel within the group outside of the public forum. Because, and then, you can get pressure. Like you could say, I can't really say that because this is what I'm doing. the ward leader on this. I can't really go anti-city because I have that position. I'm not saying he should be stepped down from the caucus and all that. No, not at all. It's just one of those things that, again, when you do this, when you raise your hand and you're eventually elected by the constituency, you really do have to kind of temper what you want to step out in a public forum and say. You can have your opinion on it, but when you raise your hand, that's kind of
I'm trying to let it go. I'm really trying to let it go. But common sense has to come into play. You don't need to add to the 40 people that go up there to complain about, oh, it doesn't look good. And then if you do go up, say something other than 2 bags of Jewel word salad. It's a bad look.
Yeah,
my concern is more with the plan, how the plan commission handled it than what anybody in the audience did. I'm more
I'm
troubled
not
by
gonna,
that.
I don't know,
But the
Pete, what
caucus
he was
picked
saying.
those people. Don't get me started on Jamie Moorhead.
No, I don't. I think what's his name probably made a tactical error by going up there, but I don't know what you guys have said. I don't know if he's being bullied or not, but I think that's kind of.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean,
I see it differently than I think Phil Arouca rightfully was removed from the caucus because he endorsed someone running against a caucus endorsed candidate. That's different than going up there and speaking your mind on an issue. That said, I agree with you, Skoo. It was poor judgment on his part.
I never said that he's got to
do that.
Get out of the caucus. I'm just saying it's another example of poor leadership on the caucus. That's all.
I would agree with you there. I mean, that's something, and you know what? That's where the exec council needs to step in and say, you shouldn't do that. Or the exec council, instead of worrying about, minutiae stuff about the past election and all that, should be educating these ward chairs and all that you don't, and here's the thing, and I don't know if they still do that, but the exec council always has their meeting, their monthly meeting or whatever, and it's usually the exec council plus the 4 ward chairmen.
Yeah.
Those discussions should be held there. Those discussions should be held at that level saying, hey, listen, guys, this is going to city council. This is something that we don't voice our opinions on because we can't. It's not a good look because what your role is to take your neighbors and interview them for a position. And if your neighbor may disagree with you and you bring it up, I mean, I'm going to go back, guys, to when I interviewed a couple years ago for certain positions, and it was held against me because I was on the podcast.
What?
And oh, by the way, I interviewed for one, and it's still being held against me. So it's kind of this, and I don't know. I think it's he made a tactical error, but also the leadership of the caucus needs to kind of start leading and not whining as much as they do about stuff. But
well,
they got to do what they're supposed to do, not what they think.
Let me throw a simple one out there, Skoo and Joe. Leadership of the caucus, don't you think they should attend these meetings of the people they elected, at least one person?
What do you mean?
Like the planning commission, should somebody be there besides the dude from Ward 4 to complain to attend the meetings to see what's going on, to keep up?
Well, I think everybody was watching that at home. The plan commission meetings are on YouTube. The other, I think that's the only commission meeting that gets broadcast as planned.
Pete, I've shared with you when I was on the caucus.
Yeah.
We used to have to go by ward. You had to select different boards and commissions to go to and attend and report back on.
These people have no clue.
None. I mean, it's just because that helps you do your job of interviewing when you see what goes on at a meeting and what is entailed in packets and what's in there. Because, when you don't do your job, reading the packets and coming prepared to meetings, that takes away everything that the staff has done to get to. And again, Joe, let me ask you a question, Joe. What do you think the percentage of issues that the city faces goes to boards and commissions?
It doesn't hit the council?
No.
20%.
What percent do you think of issues, not the council, the council's included, goes?
Oh, it goes to a board or commission first. Virtually everything, right? Other than the budget.
No, absolutely not. The city handles a majority, I would say probably 80 to 90% of the issues that come through. Very few things goes to boards and commissions at the city. That's why they have city staff. That's kind of the city manager form of government we have.
Right. Okay. I thought you meant what goes to the council versus what goes to the boards. I'm sorry.
I did say
you're
what goes to
right.
the councils and what
That
goes to
sounds
the
about
board.
right. Yeah.
So, I mean, and stuff that the city can't handle that goes to these board are critical things that they can't make that decision. So it has to go to a board or commission. And when you don't have the people doing their jobs on stuff, coming prepared to meetings, being vetted the proper way. I mean, it's
Call out the planning commission. They should have just ruled on one thing, and they could have put it to bed. And
they didn't even have to rule on it.
where did the alternatives come in?
At first, it should have never went to planning commission. That was a kind of pass down. Like, I don't want to deal with it. So,
You're saying it should have gone straight to council?
No, should have been handled by the city. The cell
Didn't they
tower-
have to change? Didn't they have to change an ordinance to do that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think they did. That's why it came before plan, because they
Calling
had
out
to.
Kathy Zerniak. Is that what you're doing, Skoo?
What?
Are you calling out Kathy Zerniak?
No, absolutely not.
My beloved Kathy.
Absolutely not. It's not anything to do with her.
All right.
This could have been handled at the city level. That cell phone tower company came to the city and said, "You guys need a new tower, a tower to service."
And you need it here.
Yeah.
Not over
This is-
there.
Well, no,
Not
this
over
is the
there.
best place for it. It didn't have
Not
to
so
go
much
to any.
here.
It didn't have to go and get approved by people. They could have been an omnibus thing with the council.
All right. Boys,
That-
what else? Mr. Weiss, what else you got in your notes there? Besides pick up Manischewitz.
Lake Forest basketball won last night against Glenbrook South, so they're doing pretty well, I think.
Skoo, you want
Girls
to talk
lost.
basketball? We'll split.
Huh?
You want to talk basketball? You're still calling games for that?
I am. Called the girls' game last night.
Check that.
The boys' game was at Glenbrook South because my daughter went to it to
They won
see some
that,
of her
and they
old
play Thursday at home, and the girls play Friday at home.
So check out some games.
Yeah.
Here's Skoo. Call some games.
That's not why you would come out to the game, but
No.
That's why I'd come out.
It's a fringe benefit of coming.
guys are really good this year. Girls
Yeah.
Yeah.
rebuilding or building. They lost their best player, so that's going to be kind of a struggle.
What's going to happen with the guys' football team next year with all those seniors graduating?
Good question. They had I don't know how many guys on the team, 60 and 40 are gone.
Yeah. That's a huge.
That's a chunk. That's a big matzo ball.
Maybe you had to do what Stevenson and Warren to expand their border.
We got to have John.
We'll take it North Chicago for football.
That'll probably happen eventually. Co-op.
Skoo, it's nice to have you back, man.
Yeah.
It is. Your smiling face. To help get us back on the right track, Skoo, because you saw us flailing.
That is fine, Pete. Thank you for having me.
More nuts, please.
More nuts. Please.
19th hole, that's pretty good.
What was that show growing up? Paddlefoot and Clutch Cargo?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Clutch Cargo?
Clutch Cargo, I remember. Paddlefoot, I have no recollection
Paddlefoot's
of.
the dog.
The dog.
Oh, okay.
Ray Rayner. Boom.
The cartoon body and then the human lips. That was kind of creepy.
But Conan O'Brien, what did Conan O'Brien do? He would have.
Not much. Wrote for The Simpsons. That was the highlight of his career. Joe, is there anything seriously on your list? We covered it all. So we took care of Ara. So, hey,
Yeah.
Ara, way to go, Mayor. Alderman.
He can come on now. Come on, you gotta keep pushing him.
Well, he's got to ask if Jason says it's okay.
No, you don't have
Ara,
to
be
ask.
your own man. Come on. We could
He
talk.
wants to come on.
I heard he was a good fullback.
He was a great fullback. That's when they ran the option, the wishbone.
Yeah. I'd like to hear
Ara was a little tank. Ara doesn't get any credit. He was the reason why their running backs were so good.
That's right.
Because he always did the good fake.
2 yards in a cloud of dust.
Maybe that's what he's doing now for Mayor Tack. No.
Mayor Goshgarian. That has a great ring to it. Sure beats Rummel. Boys,
You don't think she's running? No way. She's done.
do you have to file for mayor yet? Is that done?
It's done.
Okay, that's it. All right. All
Over.
right. So what are we going to look at? 2026?
Well, yeah, there's some council seats up in 20. There's an election every year in Lake Forest. So yeah, there's
2027?
going to be council seats up in 2026, and then 2027, the mayor will be up, and obviously Randy's termed out. So we'll see who.
You guys need to call Preschlack, get him on. He's no longer. He's going to be running for mayor.
Jim, where you been, man? I missed your text.
Get him on. He's listening. What did he text you?
If you know, you know.
Gee,
All right,
All right, boys.
wow.
go Scouts.
Oh, Jimmy, love you, baby.
Michelle Parnell has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721.
For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Rusich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, and J.M.